Yay. All right. Hey, everyone. Thanks for being here today. We're back for round 3 of our LinkedIn Live series, and we're excited to dive into the art of seamlessly weaving sustainability into your business DNA. I'm Nin, co-founder of Falcor 8, and I couldn't be more thrilled to kick off this conversation today with two incredible minds, my powerhouse co-founder, Elena Lockwood, and the brilliant Simone Schuppan, founder of C2 Impact. Let's get into it. Today, we're taking a deep dive into some of the world's biggest corporations and how they're embedding ESG principles into the core of their supply chains and operations. We're not just talking theory here, we're bringing you practical strategies and real-world case studies from companies that are truly leading the way. We'll kick things off by exploring why embedding sustainability into business operations isn't just a nice to have, but an absolute essential. And from there, we'll walk you through actionable strategies to make it happen while showcasing some inspiring real-world examples of companies that have hit the mark with their ESG goals. So we're excited to dive into that and unpack and bring you up to this level of impact and how you can bring that impact to your own business. Elena, from a strategic perspective, why is it so important for businesses to embed sustainability into their operations?
Thanks, Lynn. Well, first of all, embedding sustainability into business operations, it's important for long-term profitability. When a company adopts sustainability practices, they have the chance to review their end-to-end processes if they want to. As they identify waste and inefficiencies in the way they do the things or the way in which they deploy the resources, they have huge potential. So once these inefficiencies are solved or at least mitigated, the company ends up lowering costs and promoting profitability over time. The second reason why embedding sustainability into business operations is so important is related to people. So on the one hand, a strong commitment to sustainability can support employee engagement and retention, especially for companies wanting to attract younger talent. This young talent typically looks for jobs that align with their personal values. On the other hand, a strong commitment to sustainability, it also improves business trust from shareholders looking to invest in or consumers looking to buy from companies that add value to the environment and the communities in which they operate. The last reason that I can think of right now is related to risk management. Public policy and new regulations are a key driver pushing companies to adopt more sustainable practices. So in this sense, it is important to embed sustainability into business operations because failing to do so can cause the company to be out of compliance and face penalties or disruption to their operations.
Yeah, absolutely, Elena. And from a data perspective as well, these challenges highlight why it's so critical to have robust data strategies in place. Tracking key ESG metrics not only allows businesses to measure progress and impact effectively, but also helps them identify areas where sustainability efforts are falling short. Data-driven decision-making is key to ensuring that these initiatives are not just well-intentioned, but truly impactful. And companies can avoid greenwashing, optimize their supply chain, manage financial risks, and lead their organizations through the necessary changes with confidence. Simone, what are some practical strategies that companies can use to integrate sustainability into their daily operations?
That's a great question, Nin. So one of the most effective strategies is fostering a culture of sustainability across the entire organization. Sustainability should not be an add-on or a nice to have. So the first place to look is at your company's values. Why are you in business? What is your company bringing to the world and how is it doing it? So for example, as a food company, you're bringing nourishment. And then a clearly related sustainable topic would be food waste. Another example would be if you're in hospitality, for example, you're making people feel comfortable while they're on vacation or away from home from work. So how do you keep their spaces clean and healthy using non-toxic materials, for example? So this is kind of the top-down view, what executives should look at. Then there is how you make it relevant to your people. Empower them to explore what they're dealing with every day. What do they see that they can do better? So people on the ground have typically incredible insights that often get lost in translation across the different reporting levels. That could be regarding processes in manufacturing, material decisions, anything that touches their day-to-day. It doesn't mean that every idea needs to be implemented, but it will definitely bring up ideas that can then be looked at in terms of relevance as they relate to the company's overall goals and values. And then you can prioritize and, most importantly, put key metrics around them that then can be measured going forward.
Yeah, thanks for that, Simone. That really feels spot on. I mean, what's critical is ensuring that, as we implement these strategies, we're also tracking their impact. And like you said, Simone, putting key metrics into place around them and measuring them moving forward to track their impact. And so, it's not just about refining strategies over time, but making sure that they're truly moving the needle for the business. And speaking of putting theory into practice, we'll dive into some real-world examples of companies that are successfully embedding sustainability into their operations. Different companies are not only setting their targets, but working closely together. Elena, could you share how Patagonia has successfully aligned its business operations with sustainability goals?
Certainly. Well, Patagonia is a standout example of a company that has deeply embedded sustainability into their operations. Their commitment to using 100% renewable and recycled materials by 2025, along with their Worn Wear program, which extends the life of their products. Both of these initiatives showcase their dedication to sustainability. Patagonia's approach is not just about environmental stewardship, it's also a core part of their brand identity and customer loyalty strategy. So by prioritizing long-term impact over short-term profitability, Patagonia has managed to build a strong, authentic brand that is very well resonating with the environmentally conscious consumers.
That's a really inspiring example, Elena. Patagonia really sets the bar high when it comes to integrating sustainability into every facet of their business. Speaking of leaders in this space, Simone, it would be awesome to hear your thoughts on IKEA. They've also been making impressive progress. So what is IKEA doing now that stands out to you?
Well, IKEA has set very ambitious goals to become climate positive by 2030, not just climate neutral. That includes not only using renewable or recycled materials in their products. They have invested heavily in renewable energy. They own more than 500 wind turbines themselves and almost 2 million solar panels on their buildings worldwide. So that's pretty impressive. And the company aims to produce more renewable energy than it consumes already by year end this year. So then that could go back into the local communities. IKEA has the opportunity with their business of bringing products to consumers to not only make their products in a more sustainable way, using renewable energy and looking at the materials that they're using, that those are recycled or can be reused. They also actually help consumers live more sustainably. They create appliances and light fixtures that use less energy or less water. They support day-to-day activities such as, little things, collecting food scraps separately that can go into composting. And they've implemented a buying back program for used IKEA furniture. Although they do have actually the fun some fun videos and ideas on their website of how you can keep your furniture and reuse it in a slightly different setting, and how you refresh those without having to buy a whole new set of furniture, which is even better. So, however, nobody's perfect. So they're still working through the challenges of fully integrating circular economy practices, because it really has to be truly integrated into the entire supply chain, and it's almost impossible to be in full control of that overall. However, they're making big strides.
Yeah, and both Patagonia and IKEA really show us how thoughtful changes in materials can significantly advance sustainability while staying aligned with business objectives. It's fascinating to see how they've each tackled this in their own unique ways, whether through renewable materials or creating products that help consumers live more sustainably. And now shifting gears a little bit, let's dive into supply chain sustainability. Simone, how has Mars navigated this challenge? And what are some of the key lessons that other companies can take from their approach?
So a few years ago, Mars decided to take a new approach. Instead of going it alone and looking at their own company only, they decided to partner with PepsiCo and McCormick as the founding companies to form a coalition across the supply chain. In the meantime, several other companies, including a packaging company and several other big names, have joined this effort. Instead of just demanding their suppliers to meet certain requirements, because as public companies, these huge companies are now required to report on their different scopes, especially in Europe, and this is going to expand over time. Instead of just requiring that of their suppliers, they're actually setting out to teach their suppliers in an instructional way with seminars and hands-on how they would come up with a GHG footprint, how they would set science-based targets, how they would adopt abatement measures, and how they would be disclosing their progress. That is something that would typically be beyond the means and capabilities of a smaller supplier. So by these huge corporations banding together and helping these smaller suppliers implement those programs, they're enabling these companies to stay part or become part of the supply chain of these large companies.
Yeah, and speaking of which, we'll next talk about how these companies are finding efficiencies to enhance social impact and reduce waste. Simone, back to you again. Can you discuss some of Danone's efforts in this space?
So Danone is a good example on the food waste side. They committed to reduce food waste by 50% by 2030 as part of their larger sustainability goals. They've launched internal campaigns to raise awareness among employees about the impact of food waste, and then they've aligned these efforts with their mission to provide healthy, sustainable food. So kind of, again, going across within their company and outside the company. Food production and transportation is an important part that Danone has an impact on. They currently source over 90% of their fresh milk and over 50% of their plant-based ingredients locally in the country where the products are sold. And that makes a huge impact because a lot of ingredients are being shipped across the world constantly, and to keep them in the country and hopefully even closer to where they're finally being consumed will make a huge difference. And then on kind of the social impact side, their milk is sourced from 50,000, that's a huge number, independent farms. So again, that's a huge supply chain or logistics and keeping track of data effort. But they have 50,000 independent farms in 20 different countries. And 80% of those farms are truly small with less than 10 cows. So they really have an impact on supporting local families and local economies. Again, while they've made progress, they also face challenges. Packaging is an especially big one. The amount of plastic and type of plastic they're currently using is a big issue that the company needs to work through.
Yeah, it's really cool to hear how Danone has, made such significant progress in supporting local families and economies. And just that progress is just really inspiring. Elena, Coca-Cola has also taken innovative steps to reduce waste. Can you share their story?
Yes, of course. I really like this story actually. So Coca-Cola has managed to create a closed loop or a circular recycled system in Mexico by partnering with local recyclers and waste collectors to recover Coca-Cola plastic bottles from landfills. This initiative has enabled Coca-Cola to produce a 100% recycled plastic bottle for their water brand, CL. So Coca-Cola has invested in a very strategic way in critical technologies for extruding and decontaminating plastic, ensuring that the bottles that they use can easily be recycled and repurposed for seal water. This investment is not only helping them achieve their goal, producing 100% recycled plastic bottles, but it's also supporting local communities and strengthening their brand commitment to sustainability by minimizing their environmental impact. So by focusing on building a circular economy, Coca-Cola is not only reducing waste, but also demonstrating the power of innovation in driving sustainability practices.
Yeah, thanks, Elena. And Coca-Cola's commitment to investing in the technology necessary to achieve their sustainability goals is great to hear. These case studies from Danone and Coca-Cola illustrate the tangible benefits of finding efficiencies that enhance social impact and reduce waste. They also show that sustainability efforts can create value across the entire business ecosystem. What really makes a difference is how we approach these challenges. Strategic planning is key. Mapping out the steps, anticipating obstacles, and ensuring that resources are invested wisely. And of course, integrating a robust data layer is crucial. And this allows you to track key indicators, measure progress, and make informed adjustments to ensure that your sustainability efforts are not just ambitious, but genuinely impactful. Elena, taking it back to you for closing remarks.
Thanks, Lynn. Well, we hope you enjoyed our conversation today and that we were able to communicate how it's clear that embedding sustainability into business operations, it's not just about doing the right thing, it's also a strategic imperative that drives long-term success and resilience. So thank you all for being a part of this important conversation. We trust that you're living with actionable strategies and the inspiration to push your sustainability efforts further. With the right guidance and support, you're not just making a difference, you're driving a meaningful, lasting impact that will benefit your business, your community, and our planet. So if you're interested in learning more about Falcorate or C2 Impact Services, please reach out. We're at falcorate.com, c2impact.com. Have a wonderful day, everyone, and let's continue driving positive change in our businesses and our communities. Thanks all.